Welcome back to another episode of Revolution with Pietro and Lida, where we talk about health, business, and everything in between. And today's episode is going to be all about our lessons with Liao, which is our Chinese herbal supplement brand that we launched in November.
Yeah. So we're talking about business and mindset today.
I'll start.
Yeah, you start always. Ladies first.
So I'm a storyteller. So if I could think about the person I was and who I've become with Liao, I think I've made a drastic change. So the reason why I say this is
Improvements.
She's
so good. She's the CEO.
So one other thing is like I've always worked by myself, and the ego really likes to lead me in a way of doing everything by myself, knowing that I'm capable, knowing that I can get anywhere that I want, again, by myself. And I've just been a lone wolf, we can call it that. And if somebody wanted to work with me, I kind of bit because I felt like they were trying to steal my show.
Mm-hmm. Competitive.
Very, very competitive. Not that I never work with people, I've done stuff like that. But if something is mine, I really like to keep it mine. So this is, so think about when I had to have Liao with two other partners. So I was like, this is mine. I want most of the shares. It's my idea.
Yeah, the first one was equity.
Like equity, my ego, my insecurity was like to the max. And the thing is like, it's okay. I can admit it. You know, it's funny to even admit it because I'm like, people are like, really, Lida, you're like that? I'm like, yeah, that's a part of me that not a lot of people know. However, another thing was that I used to get really offended when Pietro and Andrea would give me feedbacks. In my mind, they both have worked in consulting. They've both worked in like group settings and management. It's just another like corporate, we'll call it the corporate world. Mm-hmm. I don't have any experience. Even before I became an acupuncturist and having my own practice, I worked at Nordstrom and that was also by myself.
You were in sales.
I was in sales. Sales is always independent. So that's all I've known. And in sales, you kind of got to be a little bit sharky, you know? You got to be like, you know, this is mine and that's yours, right? But there's a fine line of respect. So again, like I have all these upbringings around like resistant and working with other people. So Liao really, really taught me and humbled me very quickly. One, because I had to become aware that I'm not an expert in the room with Pietro and Andrea. I'm a beginner. And even though, yes, Liao was my idea, but the resources that they have and have contributed to this company is why it even exists, is why you have it in your hands, why you can try it.
Wow.
An idea doesn't just...
This is music to my ears.
The idea itself cannot manifest, right, by itself. I mean, technically it can, but maybe in a very slow process, right? So I learned how to let go of the ego, understanding and shifting my perspective around they are not my enemy, they're my teammate. They truly want me to become the CEO that I don't even know how to become. They're training me to feel confident and, you know, and play the role of what they're helping me build. So
I think also the fact that playing in a team, like working in a team and understand roles and responsibility was a little bit challenging, especially for her. Also because you never played any team sports either.
Okay,
that teaches
hold
you a lot.
on. The team sports, I tried out. I just never got accepted. And he's right, because the
I'm
showing the pattern, which is true, because the only sport that I was able to get accepted was track. And track is a solo race. So like literally my entire life, it's been a one-way street, one-way support by myself.
And the second thing was the structure that a company that gives you. Then, so you put it together, team plus structure. And she had a lot of work to do and she really did it in such a short amount of time. The beautiful thing about Lida is that she has an ego, but she also doesn't have an ego, which means the moment she reflects a lot and she works on personal growth more than anybody I've ever seen. And when something clicks, at first she will bite me, especially me because I'm the husband, and I tell her, hey, like if you want to talk about something, you gotta call the meeting, for instance. You don't just come to me and say, hey, drop everything you're doing. We need to talk about this. That was it, right?
Or even
like
in the
with
meeting.
Andrea, or like during the meeting, it was just no structure at all, right? So the first thing was like giving her structures and system. It was kind of challenging for me. So sometimes I had to text Andrea on the side and say, hey, you bring this up with Lida because otherwise she's gonna yell at me. But
Really? I didn't know you did that.
yes, I did that.
Wow.
But we had to get her on track when it comes to systems. Systems are very important for businesses, also for life. They make it easier. It's not just intuition. It's also like, okay, let's make a system that works, that we can replicate, then somebody else can replicate. So it's all about creating those systems. And she learned really, really quick. The roles, the responsibilities, who does that, how things get done, how to deliver those messages, how to don't get triggered when somebody like is not agreeing with you or when somebody is telling you to improve. I do that too. I'm competitive too. So if you tell me like, oh, you can improve here, I'm gonna get triggered. But I fake it because I worked in consult. Yeah, I worked in companies. So, but you became so good. She's now a badass CEO. I'm telling you, she really is. She's focused on the product. She's doing great when it comes to relationship, branding. She's doing her best when it comes to content, which is not something that we are born to do,
Some
but
people are really good
we're
at it.
just doing it, and eventually we're gonna become good at it.
Yeah, it's a practice. So,
It's a practice.
So the big three, like I guess I call it 3 lessons, is have no attachment, be coachable, and let go of control.
And tell them what you learn about equity. If they are business owners,
Oh.
they will
Equity.
appreciate this.
Okay. So with the equity, this is what I want you to reflect on. So yes, I came up with the idea, but the work and everybody's contribution to the company matters. Obviously, plus the people that put the money down. That itself speaks for itself too. However, you want to think about not being so attached to the money because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter till you sell it. None of you are going to get the money till you decide to sell your company. And so
how much is worth 50% of zero? How much is it?
Zero. And we had to realize that very quick.
Uh-huh.
And so what I say when it comes to equity, work with your partner and find a sweet spot that you can all feel good about it. Because we did go back and forth, and then they ask, we ask, and then we found our sweet spot between the 3. So I'm happy with where we're at.
Is it more important, like, what I will say is don't get stuck on equity before launching the business.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, figure it out, man. Don't just get stuck. 5%, 10%. It's worth nothing. Make it as fair as possible and just move forward real quick from there. Make sure it's written down. Everything it's like contracted, but move forward from there because that's gonna, like, you don't want bottlenecks before you even start.
Yeah.
Second thing, roles.
I was going to say that, I mean, roles, yes. And then another thing is communication. So I'm really big on communication. And something that me and Pietro, I noticed, and maybe I'll speak for myself, is we felt actually really uncomfortable talking about money. So we were like pushing out the equity or the money talk, like we were just pushing it out and out and out. And when you think about it, it's like, why were we so afraid of? And what actually taught me was when Andrea asked for what he needed, and I was like, obviously triggered me, but I was like, damn, like, if he has the courage to ask for what he wants, then like, why are we so scared of asking for what we want? So get comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations, but without feeling triggered and being open to listen to them. Like really hearing them and understand their language of communication without taking things personally, because that is something that with any business partner, if you have 2 partners, 3 partners, doesn't really matter. It's really important because I know, like, probably a good percent amount, when the money comes in, greed naturally just starts to come in. 100%. And you really want to have those standards right from the beginning, and knowing that you can trust the other person, right? And feeling safe of having those conversations. Those are really important because if you can't trust or feel safe with your partners, then you probably shouldn't be with them in the first place.
Yeah, don't start that business.
Don't start it. It's not worth it. And then roles, you can go.
No, you.
Oh, my roles? Okay.
This is still you
It's all
learning
me?
all this stuff.
Okay, and then my roles. Okay. So my role is the founder, the CEO. So I have to be the leader. And I'm really good at that part, but A part of me had a lot of doubt playing that role. Again, going back to not working in a company, and then Andrea and Pietro asking me to like step it up or keep giving me feedback. So that was really triggering. And I was kind of confused a little bit, like what my role really was.
The company doesn't even feel like it's mine.
Yeah, yeah, I made those comments. I was really struggling with making Liao feel like it's part of me, you know, because like, again, I don't know how to share, but even sharing, it just felt like they just knew more and they were doing much more, which makes sense. It's in the beginning of it. But I know like once Liao picks up, like my role would pick up even more. I'm thinking about like podcasts and networking and showing up and like being the face of it. But it took me actually a long time. I would honestly say probably back till like last month, I started to find a connection around my role and realizing what I actually needed to do and what felt valuable, because I'm really used to working where I need to overwork something. So if I have like a small role or I'm not spending too much time of something, I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I had to be okay with that and finding, no, when you have this connection with this practitioner, or once you have this connection with this teacher and closing these deals, you're doing your part. That's exactly high leverage, and it doesn't need to take so much of my energy, but if I'm getting the results, that's all I need. So
that's the CEO.
Yeah, that was me
That's
learning that.
The CEO.
So
And then she's gonna be great when we have to hire her to do the CEO for that.
The relationships, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I think that was your lesson. I wrote down my lessons. So yeah. Mine is number 1, don't change things too much. Be patient and wait to see the data. So I'm an operator and I want to perform as well. And so if something doesn't work, or if I have that gut feeling that something is not at the highest level, what I will do is just start like going so deep and changing things. Let's talk about website, okay? So we launched the website and then the website didn't convert. Obviously, it wasn't just the website, it was the whole thing. But for me, it was the website because I had that feeling that the website didn't work.
Can I add something? And it was like probably like 2 days, like it was like 1 or 2 days.
1 or 2 days in. Imagine you launch a brand for nothing. 1 or 2 days in, you don't get sales. I started like freaking out. Oh my God, we're not getting sales. What is wrong? What is wrong? I always look for what's wrong. Instead, the lesson here is do your best, do your research, take your time, build great copy, build great things, and then test. Instead of just changing things to say, this doesn't work. How do you know that it doesn't work? Right? How do you know what's not working? So, for instance, we launched Liao, a week in, no sales, few sales. I'm like, the website is not working, not good enough. Work day and night. For a week, change the whole website. I get into the meeting and they're like, Peter, but yeah, don't do this anymore.
Yeah, they were like, you gotta stop.
You gotta stop. You can't just change the website. The website is important. Like, it's a company. You can't just change things, right? So it's kind of like Lida. I tend to be a solo operator, even though we work in teams. For me, it's more about like, I really want to perform and I learn very quickly. So what I learn, I implement right away. And sometimes I forget to just wait and see. So that's the second part. It's be patient. That one is in life, not just in business.
Let it marinate. You know what I mean? Let it
so
marinate.
When you launch the ads, don't be on the ads on their ass. Like I will launch ads and then turn them off the next day. No, man, just relax. Once a week, you touch them. You can use more budget. You can waste some budget. It's okay, but make sure you learn what's working and see it on a bigger horizon rather than like micromanage everything. That's basically the same thing. Don't change too much. Number 2, for me, it's don't be scared to scale your business up. Don't be scared to sell, which means for an e-commerce, it's basically you are paying to get your customers. That's how advertising works. That's how e-commerce works. And at the beginning, when you launch, especially for us that we launched using our own money and basically all the money that we have, and you start spending like 300, 400, 500 a day, if a couple of days you don't make it back, you start, it starts being a kind of like uncomfortable.
Not me.
So I will cut it down.
Like, not me.
So I just say I will go to like 300 a day. And then what day 1 works, day 2 doesn't work, day 3 doesn't work. I'm like, okay, I'm back at 100 real quick, which is the same as before, don't change. But also the business needs room to breathe and it needs money. So if you're scared to spend money or like to lose money, don't even start. That's a big lesson for me. And another lesson is basically like, maybe don't do it like us. We're kind of extreme in that kind of sense. We went really all in.
It's not for everybody. That's the
It's
thing.
not
So
for
we
everybody.
can't
Like,
say don't be like us. We're not here
no,
to say
what I'm
be
saying
like us.
is,
It's
what I'm
like,
saying is,
do
have
what.
your cushion, have your things,
Yeah.
have your go all in for sure. If you have an idea, if you have a vision, and you feel it inside you, you gotta do it. Just fucking do it. Be conscious about
Yeah.
money.
Feel into your body of what feels safe. Like don't pass your threshold if it's gonna get your nervous system dysregulated.
Number 3 that I wrote down is prioritize actions that will improve numbers. When you launch a business, you will feel like there are so many things you have to do that just the to-do list. Like you can also like just spend a day just writing down tasks that you have to do, especially on the operation side, right? But focus on what brings the highest return. So if you are focusing and you're spending 2 days on making an email look nice graphically, man, that's not a good task.
We call it the 5 million and the $5 task.
Yeah, the $5 or the 5 million task. Focus on the 5 million task. For me, really hard because I'm perfectionist. So if I do something, I spend like until it's perfect. I'm not gonna stop. But focus directly, especially at the beginning, on what brings numbers, what brings, for instance, the conversion rate up. Test things like offers, bundles to make more money. Like focus on things that will make you more money. And the rest, the $5 tasks, if they are not necessary for the business, like the best picture of the website or like having the ad that looks like Coca-Cola did it, that kind of stuff, if it's taking too much of your time and energy, drop it. For me, very hard to do. So the system that we created, which we are not doing now because I think it's kind of like now we're good. Do you remember every Monday we will just talk about, okay, what's your $5 million? What's your $5? And we only do the $5 million.
Because we now created our own structure, because we were really doing it for me because I didn't know how I wanted to spend my week.
Me too, though.
Oh, it was helping you?
Of course.
Oh, maybe we can do that then again. We'll bring it. We'll integrate. Okay, we'll bring it in.
Number 4, ask for help. Ask to other people what they think you're good on, and that will bring your confidence up, and just keep doing that. If you're not good at something, say this is not my job. Or if somebody comes to you, like your partner comes to you and wants to put more workload on you, just say no, this is not my job. Help as long as you can, but make sure you have structure.
This is really directed to me.
Yes, directed to Lida. She comes to me for instance and say, hey, make the thumbnail for the YouTube video. You know, like YouTube video is on her. I had to tell her, listen, I did it and I spent 1 hour on it. It took me so long. So I'm like, okay, no, this is a task I cannot do. It goes back to her.
And this is where you learn, myself, to not take it personally and respect their boundaries, because you want your boundaries to be respected.
Basically, the same, yeah. And that brings it to an end. Up to now, we are only 5 months into the business. So that's what we learned right now. Okay. Also, if you launch an e-commerce and you have your own product, man, launch their Amazon store real quick.
That's going to be for our next video. We'll talk about the Amazon.
For next video,
we'll talk about the Amazon next video.
I'm telling you that's good. And yeah, this is more like personal lessons. Then if you want to know more about tactical lessons, just write it down. But we'll talk about it in another video. This is more like on the growth and personal skills.
Yeah, because if you can find the opportunity in the struggles in your business, remember, our business is literally creating growth in our own personal life. When the mind and the body and the spirit feels good and it can recognize what's limiting it, the business also starts to grow. Your relation starts to grow. Everything is connected. And I know when some people are like, oh, I have a business and I have no personal development. I disagree. I doubt it, honestly, because the biggest entrepreneurs that I follow all have some personal development.
Oh, it makes you grow.
It makes you grow, right? You got to be strong in the mind, you got to be strong in the body, and you got to be strong in your faith. So these are our lessons, and we're always, every day, we gain some more insight and more teaching. And even with these lessons, we still feel stuck, and that's okay,
100%.
right? But we hope that by sharing our lessons, you know that you too are not alone in this, and we're the examples maybe for this.
Well, I have one more lesson.
Okay.
It just came into my mind now, sorry.
No, don't apologize.
This is more of a spiritual lesson. That it came through her to me from God. And it was learn when to be aware and learn when to push. At the beginning of a business, you will basically run only on pushing. But if you only push, number one, you're gonna burn out. Number two, you're not gonna get the lessons and the messages. And so really learn to give some time during the day or during the week to just listening, to just slowing down and listening. Me, I'm not good at that. It's very hard for me when I'm in push mode to just relax. And but I noticed that since she told me that she listened to this meditation that was talking about that, I listened to it and it really clicked because I was in a only push mode. And so just keep, especially when you're launching a business, it's very important to listen and to be aware of what's happening around you
And inside of you.
and inside of you so you can improve. Like, that's the last lesson. Very hard to do. It's probably the hardest one, especially if you are like hustler. So I'm still not good at it.
But yes, you're
But I'm aware of it.
Yeah. And remember, if I can tell my husband this and you, everything is practice. You don't need to be perfect at it. But if you have the will, the intention, that itself is already planted. So just give yourself, put that intention. I try to do my best the next time. I try to listen the best time. So don't be hard on yourself because I think you're doing incredible, honest. I do. From the last time that you burnt yourself to now, you've created much more space. And the way that I actually see it is because you standing up to me and asking for what you need, even though I don't like it, but I respect it. So you are doing that because you're asking for your space.
And you're gonna burn out, man.
Yeah, or you're gonna burn out.
No, you are gonna burn out.
What?
If,
No, if you're, don't say that. I don't think you are gonna burn out. If you do it, if you can create
okay.
balance. No, I mean, the thing is, like, I don't want to say that because that's just creating a limitation for them. But it's like, we burned out, yes, but the thing is because we weren't respecting our space, right? But if you do burn out, again, reflect, where can I create more space? Where can I fill my cup? And you do it, right? But I think there's people that maybe have great boundaries and maybe they don't. So wherever you're at, just know that you can always find your center.
Go for that walk. Go to the beach. Go do your thing.
Yeah.
Don't feel guilty about it. That's another thing.
Yeah.
The business is at the end, it's not the most important thing.
Remember,
even though you feel like it is, it's not.
Like something that I channeled recently is not about the result or the outcome. It's the process. We're here to just enjoy the process.
Yeah, hard to do it every day, but yeah.
But it's a practice.
Makes sense. Va bene.
If you made it to the end, make sure you like, subscribe, and share to somebody that would appreciate this. And then
comment if you want to know, if you want us to talk about something specifically, just ask.
Yeah. Or just comment telling us how much you love this content.
Exactly, that's good.
We would appreciate that too. Anyways, we'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.
Ciao.